feeling weary from a long day, restless thoughts, or a quiet ache for peace, you might carry stress, doubt, or a need to rest. You are enough, just as you are. And so, we pause. What if you could rest in this truth? Lie down or sit comfortably. Breathe slowly, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let tension slip away. No effort needed. Just listen, rest, and let your heart soften. Let this calm guide us. How gentle can this moment be? Others worldwide share this quiet moment. In cities or far-off places, seeking peace, you are not alone. Share your place or feeling in the comments, joining our community of calm. And so, we connect. How does this shared stillness feel? Zen Buddhism offers stories for peace. This video guides you to heal, to love yourself. By listening, you begin a gentle journey. Small moments bring change. No effort needed. Let this purpose guide us. What might you find tonight? Tonight, we explore loving yourself, healing through Buddhist wisdom. No perfection needed, just gentle attention. These teachings light the way, nurturing the love already within you. And so, we begin. What might this journey reveal? Peace and love are within you, ready to bloom. Rest. Listen. Let this story guide you to healing. Kami. Begin this gentle journey to your heart's quiet strength. Let us rest here. Your heart is ready. Chapter 1. Awakening to Self-Love Through Mindfulness. Part 1. Understanding Self-Love in Buddhism. In the rush of modern life, we often tie our worth to what we achieve, how we look, or what others think of us. Society whispers that success is measured by titles, wealth, or applause, pushing us to chase endless goals. This race leaves us breathless, drained, and disconnected from who we truly are. We build our value on shifting sands, careers that falter, appearances that fade, achievements that never feel enough. The world tells us to keep striving, to prove ourselves through productivity, to wear our accomplishments like badges. Yet, this pursuit often leads to a quiet ache, a sense that no matter how much we do, we are still falling short. The emotional toll creeps in, anxiety that gnaws at our peace, burnout that dims our light, feelings of inadequacy that shadow our days. We long for a stillness, a place where we can rest without judgment. In Zen Buddhism, the path to self-love begins not with doing more, but with seeing clearly. The illusion of external worth binds us, but mindfulness offers a way to soften its grip. To return to the heart of who we are, let us pause here. What if the worth we seek is already within us, waiting to be uncovered? The weight of external expectations. The world's demands can feel like a heavy cloak, pressing us to compare ourselves to others, to measure our lives against ideals that shift like the wind. We scroll through images of perfection, success stories that seem to mock our struggles, and we wonder if we are enough. This constant comparison breeds inner turmoil, a restless voice that whispers, we must do more, be more, to earn our place. The cycle of seeking approval traps us, pulling us further from peace. Each time we chase external validation, we drift from our inner truth, losing touch with the quiet joy of simply being. We may win praise, yet feel hollow, achieve goals, yet find them fleeting. The heart grows weary, burdened by expectations that never satisfy. Zen teaches us that this suffering stems from clinging to illusions, to identities built on what others see. The more we seek approval, the more we disconnect from the stillness within, where true worth resides. This is the weight we carry, not because we are lacking, but because we have forgotten how to rest in our own presence. Yet, in this realization, a gentle shift begins. What if we could let go of this weight and simply be? The Buddhist lens of mindfulness. In Zen Buddhism, mindfulness is a soft light, guiding us back to ourselves. It is the practice of being fully present, observing our thoughts without judgment, without the need to fix or change them. This simple act of awareness helps us see the stories we tell ourselves, the ones that say we are not enough unless the world agrees. Through mindfulness, we begin to unravel these illusions, noticing how our minds cling to external measures of worth. Instead of chasing validation, we learn to sit with what is, to hold our thoughts with kindness. This practice is not about achieving perfection, but about embracing our humanness. Mindfulness reveals that our value does not depend on what we do, but on our ability to be present with ourselves. It is a quiet rebellion against the noise of the world, a return to the truth that we are whole as we are. By observing our thoughts, we create space for self-acceptance, a gentle understanding that our worth is intrinsic, untouched by fleeting successes or failures. And so, we turn inward. What might we discover when we meet ourselves with compassion? There comes a moment, perhaps in the stillness of a quiet evening, when mindfulness reveals a truth we've long overlooked. We pause, breathe, and notice the fleeting nature of all we chase. Accolades that fade, possessions that lose their shine. In this clarity, we see that external worth is an illusion, a shadow that dances but never stays. Zen teaches us to let go of these impermanent things, to rest in the present where our true self resides. Try this. Sit for a moment, close your eyes, and take a slow breath. Feel the air move through you, anchoring you to now. In this pause, the world's demands fall away, and you glimpse your inherent worth, not as something earned, but as something you already are. This is the gift of mindfulness, a reminder that you are enough in this very moment. The act of pausing becomes a sacred rebellion, a choice to honor your being over your doing. Let this clarity guide us. How can we carry this peace into our daily lives? Part 2. Practicing and connecting. The power of mindfulness. At the root of our struggle with self-worth lies attachment, clinging to identities shaped by outcomes, roles, or others' opinions. Zen Buddhism teaches that this attachment creates suffering, pulling us from the truth of who we are. Mindfulness cuts through this, inviting us to observe our thoughts without being swept away by them. It is not about silencing the mind, but about listening with kindness, seeing the stories we tell ourselves as passing clouds. This practice frees us from judgment, both of ourselves and others. By staying present, we rediscover inner peace, a quiet space where self-love can grow. The power of mindfulness lies in its simplicity. It asks only that we show up for ourselves, moment by moment. As we let go of the need to prove our worth, we find freedom, a gentle acceptance that we are enough as we are. This is the heart of Zen, a return to the self that is whole, untouched by the world's fleeting demands. Now, let us explore. How can we weave this practice into our lives? Mindfulness need not be complex. Even in a busy life, it can be a gentle anchor. Try this simple practice each night before bed. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Notice its rhythm without trying to change it. If thoughts arise, worries about the day or plans for tomorrow, simply observe them. Let them pass like leaves on a stream. This small act of presence builds self-love, reminding you that you are enough in this moment. Distractions will come. The mind may wander, or impatience may stir. When this happens, smile softly at yourself. Return to your breath. Over time, this practice becomes a refuge, a way to reconnect with your inner stillness. For those with crowded schedules, start small. Even a single mindful breath before a meeting can ground you. The key is consistency, showing up for yourself with kindness, day after day. And so, we begin. What might unfold if we gift ourselves this moment each day? Self-love, in the Zen way, is not a destination, but a practice of returning to the present. Through mindfulness, we see that our worth is not tied to what we achieve or how others see us. It is here, in the quiet of this moment. Tonight, pause for a breath. Notice the stillness within you. Let it remind you that you are whole. This is the start of a gentle journey, one where you meet yourself with compassion. If this resonates, join Zen Buddhism to deepen your path to inner calm. Subscribe to our channel for more moments of peace. Take this step. Try a mindful moment tonight. See how it feels to rest in your own presence. The world will keep moving, but here, in this breath, you are enough. Let this be your beginning, a soft return to the heart of who you are. Let us rest here. In this moment, we are home. Chapter 2. The Lotus in the Mud. A story of self-compassion. Emma weaves through the crowded streets of a bustling city, her footsteps quick against the cracked pavement, her mind a tangle of deadlines and unspoken expectations. Skyscrapers tower above, their neon lights blurring into the late evening as she grips her phone, scrolling through an endless stream of emails that demand her attention. Her days are a relentless storm of meetings, reports, and to-do lists that stretch longer with each passing hour. At home, dishes pile high in the sink, laundry spills from baskets, and her inbox pings with reminders of tasks left undone. She feels the weight of it all. Not just the work, but the sharp voice in her head that whispers she is always falling short. Emma judges herself with a harshness that cuts deep. Each missed deadline, each imperfect presentation, each moment of exhaustion, a mark against her worth. She tells herself she should be more organized, more successful, more like the polished colleagues who seem to glide through life with ease. Their confidence stings, a reminder of her own perceived failures, and she wonders why she cannot keep up. This self-criticism is a constant hum, a shadow that follows her through the city's chaos, leaving her drained, her heart heavy with doubt. The city's noise mirrors her inner turmoil. Horns blaring, crowds shoving. A life that feels like a race she is destined to lose. She passes by strangers, their faces a blur, yet she envies their apparent ease, their laughter, their carefree steps. Her apartment, meant to be a sanctuary, feels like another checklist, cluttered with reminders of her shortcomings. She tries to push through, to work harder, to prove she is enough, but the effort only tightens the knot in her chest. Emma longs for a moment of quiet, a space where she can breathe without the weight of judgment pressing down. In her heart, she senses there must be another way, a path to ease the heaviness that clings to her. Yet, the demands of her life keep her running, chasing a version of herself she can never quite reach. A perfect Emma who exists only in her mind. She pauses by a storefront, catching her reflection in the glass. And for a moment, she sees not just her tired eyes, but a flicker of hope, a whisper that she is more than her struggles. This city, with its relentless pace, its towering expectations, its endless noise, is both her cage and her teacher, pushing her to the edge of herself. She wonders if there is a way to step off this treadmill, to find peace amidst the chaos, to love herself not for what she does, but for who she is. Her heart aches for stillness, for a moment to rest without feeling less than enough. In Zen Buddhism, this longing is the first step, a quiet call to turn inward, to seek the truth beneath the noise. Emma's journey is just beginning, a story of struggle and hope that mirrors so many of our own. And so, we pause. What might happen if Emma finds a way to be gentle with herself? Emma reaches a breaking point one cold evening, slumped at her desk with a forgotten cup of coffee, staring at a project she cannot perfect. The voice in her head grows louder. You are not enough. It insists. You should have done better, worked harder, been smarter. This internal dialogue fuels her anxiety, each thought a heavy stone piling onto her chest, making it hard to breathe. She compares herself to colleagues, their promotions flashing across her social feeds, their confidence a stark contrast to her own doubts. At home, she feels she fails as a friend, missing calls, as a daughter, too busy to visit, as a partner, too tired to connect. These shortcomings haunt her, each one proof she is falling short of the expectations she sets for herself. In response, she pushes harder, staying up past midnight, taking on extra tasks, believing that if she just works enough, she will earn her worth. But the harder she tries, the more she burns out, her energy slipping away like sand through her fingers. Her body aches, her sleep is fitful, and the joy she once found in small moments, a warm meal, a quiet sunset, fades into gray. The cycle of self-criticism and overwork traps her, leaving her emptier with each effort, her heart heavier than before. She wonders why her drive to improve only deepens her pain, why her worth feels so tied to what she cannot achieve. She replays her day, picking apart every mistake, every moment she could have been better, smarter, faster. Her mind spins with what-ifs. If only she had spoken up in that meeting. If only she had finished that report on time. This relentless judgment clouds her days, stealing the lightness she once knew. Zen Buddhism calls this suffering, born from clinging to an idea of perfection that does not exist, an illusion that binds her to pain. Emma feels lost, her heart yearning for a way out, a way to silence the voice that tells her she is not enough. Yet, in this struggle, a question blooms. Could there be a softer way to meet her own heart? One restless evening, Emma steps out for a walk, her feet carrying her through the city's clamor to a small Buddhist temple tucked between towering buildings. She pauses at its gate, drawn to the stillness that radiates from within, a quiet that feels foreign yet comforting. Inside, she sees a monk tending to a lotus flower growing in a muddy pond, its petals glowing with delicate beauty despite the murky water. Curious, she lingers, watching the monk's gentle movements. His calm presence a stark contrast to her own turmoil. Back in her life, Emma tries to fix herself, downloading meditation apps, repeating affirmations in the mirror, setting new goals to be better, to be enough. But these quick fixes fade quickly. The app's forgotten, the affirmations empty, leaving her more frustrated than before. Her efforts to force change feel like swimming against a current, exhausting her further, deepening her sense of failure. She feels stuck, her self-criticism louder than ever, now scolding her for failing even at fixing herself. The temple's image lingers in her mind. The lotus in the mud, a quiet mystery she cannot yet unravel. She wonders what it means, why the monk seemed so at peace with something so imperfect, so ordinary. She tries journaling, hoping to untangle her thoughts. But the words feel forced, her mind too restless to focus. She reads self-help books, skims articles on productivity, but they only add to her list of shoulds. Should be calmer, should be stronger, should be different. Her attempts to escape her pain through effort only tighten its grip, showing her that forcing change is not the answer. In Zen, this is the moment of turning inward, of seeing that the struggle itself holds the key to freedom, a chance to pause and listen to what her heart is trying to say. Emma feels a spark of curiosity, a faint pull toward the temple's stillness, toward the lotus that thrives in imperfection. Let us linger here. What might Emma learn from the lotus in the mud? Part 2. Insight and Resolution. Emma returns to the temple, drawn by a need she cannot name. Her footsteps slow as she crosses the threshold. The monk, noticing her, speaks softly of the lotus, how its beauty rises from muddy waters, not in spite of them, but because of them. Its roots grounded in the very mess it transcends. He explains that self-compassion is like this, accepting our flaws as part of our humanity, not as failures to be fixed. Emma listens, her heart stirring as she realizes her self-criticism comes from rejecting her own imperfections, from believing she must be perfect to be worthy. The monk's words are simple. be kind to yourself, as you would to a dear friend who is struggling. She begins to see her missed deadlines, her cluttered home, her tired days, not as proof of unworthiness, but as part of being human. Moments that do not define her but shape her. She tries speaking to herself with gentleness, whispering, "It is okay to rest. It is okay to be enough as you are." This feels unfamiliar, almost awkward, but it softens the tightness in her chest. Like a knot slowly unraveling, the lotus becomes her guide, a reminder that beauty and worth can grow from struggle, that her imperfections are not flaws, but the soil of her growth. She stands by the pond, watching the lotus sway, and feels a shift, a quiet permission to be imperfect, to be herself. In this moment, Emma glimpses a new way of being, one where she can hold herself with care, not judgment, where her worth is not earned but inherent. And so, a light dawns. How might this kindness change the way Emma lives? In Zen Buddhism, self-compassion is a gentle medicine for the wounds we inflict on ourselves through judgment, a way to heal the heart's quiet aches. Self-criticism often stems from attachment to perfection, an illusion that we must be flawless to be worthy, a belief that chains us to suffering. We cling to ideals of who we should be: productive, successful, always composed. And when we fall short, we turn on ourselves, our inner voice sharp with blame. The lesson of the lotus teaches us that our imperfections are not flaws to erase, but parts of our growth, like mud nourishing a flower's roots. Self-compassion invites us to meet our pain with kindness, to see our struggles, our mistakes, our tired moments, as human, not as proof of lack. By speaking gently to ourselves, we loosen the grip of judgment, creating space for healing, for peace. This practice transforms pain into growth, not by fixing what is broken, but by embracing what is, by recognizing that we are whole even in our messiness. When we offer ourselves compassion, we find freedom, a quiet acceptance that our worth is not tied to what we achieve or how others see us. This is the heart of Zen, a return to our true nature, where love for ourselves flows as naturally as breath, where we rest in the truth that we are enough. In Emma's story, this lesson is a turning point, a chance to let go of the need to be perfect and to embrace the beauty of being human. Now, let us explore. How can we bring this compassion into our daily lives? Self-compassion is a practice, simple yet transformative, that we can weave into even the busiest days, a way to anchor ourselves in kindness. Try this. When stress or self-doubt creeps in, pause and place a hand on your heart, feeling its warmth. Whisper to yourself, May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. Repeat this phrase softly, letting it settle like a gentle wave. Another practice is journaling. Each evening, write 3 things you forgive yourself for. Perhaps a mistake at work, a moment of impatience, a task left undone. These acts ground us, reminding us to treat ourselves with the care we so easily offer others. Resistance may arise. Discomfort with being kind to ourselves. A fear that it feels selfish or weak. When this happens, notice the feeling. Breathe. And return to your phrase, letting it guide you back to gentleness. Start small. Perhaps a moment of kindness before bed, or a soft word during a stressful moment at work. For those with packed schedules, try a single breath, a pause to say, I am doing my best, and that is enough. Over time, these practices build a habit of self-compassion, softening the harsh edges of our inner voice, helping us see our struggles as part of our humanity. Like the lotus, we learn to hold our beauty gently, rooted in the mud of our imperfections. Growing stronger through kindness, let us take this step. What might one act of self-kindness feel like today? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine your heart growing lighter, softened by a single act of self-compassion. A kind word that lifts the weight of judgment. Picture yourself pausing in a busy day, whispering, I am enough, and feeling a quiet warmth spread within. This is the gift of self-compassion, a path to peace that begins with one gentle thought, one moment of care. Tonight, try it. Place a hand on your heart. Speak softly to yourself. Notice how it feels to rest in your own kindness. Visualize your struggles like mud, nourishing your growth, your heart blooming like a lotus. If this story touched you, join Zen Buddhism for more healing moments. Subscribe to our channel to deepen your journey toward calm. The lotus blooms not by escaping the mud, but by embracing it. So too can you bloom by being kind to yourself. Take this small step, one compassionate act, perhaps forgiving yourself for a single moment today, and notice the shift within. Your heart is waiting, ready to grow through kindness, ready to find peace in the present moment. Emma's story reminds us that we are all lotuses, our beauty rooted in our humanness, our worth unshaken by the chaos around us. Begin tonight. Let one kind thought be the seed of your peace. A quiet return to the heart of who you are. Let us rest here. In this gentle act, we find our way home. Chapter 3. Embracing Suffering for Healing. Part 1. Understanding Suffering. In our fast-paced world, suffering is often seen as something to fear, a shadow we push away with hurried steps. Western culture, with its bright lights and endless distractions, urges us to stay positive, to smile through pain, to bury it beneath layers of busyness or fleeting pleasures. Yet, this avoidance comes at a cost. Society's call to always be happy dismisses the raw, tender reality of our struggles, leaving us to wrestle with unacknowledged wounds. When we suppress our pain, it doesn't vanish. It lingers, growing heavier, a quiet weight in the heart. This denial creates a rift within us, a disconnection from our true selves. As we chase an illusion of constant joy, the truth is, pain is not an enemy to outrun. It is a part of life, a voice asking to be heard. By ignoring it, we risk losing touch with the depth of our own humanity, the very essence that makes us whole. Yet, in our resistance, we often find ourselves caught in a deeper struggle. The instinct to flee discomfort runs deep. We turn to work, screens, or endless noise to drown out the ache within. But these attempts to numb pain only lead to a hollow emptiness, a cycle where we feel less alive, less connected. We scroll through feeds, binge shows, or bury ourselves in tasks, hoping to outpace the discomfort that follows us. Each distraction offers a momentary escape, but the pain waits patiently, surfacing in quiet moments we can't avoid. This running creates a paradox. The more we push suffering away, the more it binds us, tightening its grip on our hearts. We become strangers to ourselves, lost in a maze of avoidance, disconnected from the present moment. The truth is, no amount of busyness can silence the inner call to face what hurts. Only by turning toward it can we begin to break free from this cycle, to find a path back to ourselves. And so, a new perspective begins to unfold. In the gentle wisdom of Buddhism, suffering is not something to fear. It is a universal truth, a shared thread weaving through every life. The Buddhist path teaches us to embrace suffering, not as a burden, but as a doorway to self-acceptance and transformation. By facing our pain, we allow it to speak, to reveal its lessons, to guide us toward healing. This approach shifts our view. Suffering becomes a teacher, a mirror reflecting our deepest truths. When we stop running and turn to meet our discomfort, we discover its potential to foster growth, to soften the edges of our resistance, to open our hearts. This act of courage, of sitting with what is, plants seeds of compassion and understanding within us. In embracing suffering, we find not only healing, but also a quiet strength, a way to live more fully in each moment, connected to the beauty and pain of being human. This shift invites us to see pain in a new light. Imagine a moment when you stop fighting the pain, when you let it settle like dust after a storm, You sit in silence, feeling the weight of your sorrow, and instead of pushing it away, you let it be. In this quiet act, you realize pain is not your enemy. It is a teacher, guiding you toward peace. Sitting with discomfort, you breathe. You observe. You allow the ache to exist without judgment. This simple act, this pausing to feel, becomes a sacred moment of acceptance. The world slows, and in that stillness, you find a soft clarity, a sense that pain is part of life's vast tapestry, not a flaw to be erased. By embracing it, you touch a deeper truth. That peace arises not from escaping suffering, but from walking through it with an open heart. This shift in perspective, this gentle surrender, opens a path to inner calm, a way to heal by simply being present. Part 2. Practicing and connecting. Buddhist teachings remind us that resisting pain only deepens our suffering. Like a knot tightened by pulling harder. When we push against our struggles, we create more tension, more disconnection from ourselves. But when we accept suffering, when we let it flow through us without resistance, we begin to understand its roots. This acceptance is not passive. It is an active choice to see pain as a guide, leading us to self-understanding. By facing our discomfort, we uncover the stories we've buried, the fears we've hidden, the truths waiting to be seen. This process, though challenging, holds immense value. It softens our hearts, deepens our compassion, and brings us closer to who we truly are. Suffering, when embraced, becomes a bridge to healing, a way to reconnect with the present moment and find peace within life's inevitable waves. Now, let us turn this understanding into practice. To face pain mindfully, begin small. Find a quiet space and sit for just 5 minutes. Observing your discomfort without judgment. Notice the thoughts, the sensations, the emotions that arise. Let them be like clouds passing in the sky. This practice is not about fixing the pain. It is about being present with it, breathing into it, allowing it to exist without fear. Start with something manageable, a small worry or ache, and watch it with gentle curiosity. Over time, this builds courage, a quiet strength to face larger pains. In daily life, when challenges arise, pause, breathe, and observe without rushing to escape. This simple act of mindfulness, of staying with what is, transforms fear into understanding, disconnection into presence. With each moment you choose to face pain, you step closer to healing, to a life lived with grace and awareness. And so, we come to a moment of reflection. Embracing suffering is a gentle yet powerful act. path to healing that begins when we face pain with an open heart. When we stop running and sit with our discomfort, we discover that pain, when met with courage, becomes a doorway to peace, to growth, to a deeper connection with ourselves. This is the heart of Zen. To live fully in each moment, to see suffering not as a burden, but as a teacher guiding us home. Take a moment today to pause, to feel, to let your pain be without judgment, and notice the quiet strength that arises. If this resonates with you, try this practice. Sit with your discomfort for a few minutes and see what it reveals. For more guidance on this journey, subscribe to Zen Buddhism. Find peace in your journey. Subscribe to Zen Buddhism and let us walk this path together. Chapter 4: The Web of Interdependence. Part 1: The Lonely Weaver. Liam stands at his station in the factory. The hum of machines filling the air, their rhythmic clatter a constant backdrop to his long shifts. The warehouse stretches wide, gray and cold, filled with rows of workers who move like shadows, each focused on their own tasks. Forklifts rumble past, carrying crates, while fluorescent lights buzz overhead, casting a harsh glow on the concrete floor. Liam packs boxes, his hands moving mechanically, his mind adrift in a sea of repetitive thoughts. He feels alone, even among dozens of coworkers, their faces familiar but distant, their conversations brief and functional. He believes success comes from standing on his own, from proving he can handle his work without help, from carving out a place in the world through sheer effort. This belief isolates him, a quiet wall between him and others. As he focuses on his output, his quotas, his own small victories, at break time, he sits apart, eating his sandwich in silence, watching others chat but feeling no urge to join. The factory's monotony mirrors his inner world, a cycle of work, sleep, and worry that he is not doing enough, not achieving enough. He dreams of a promotion, of recognition, but each day feels the same. A grind that leaves him hollow. He tells himself he does not need others, that relying on them is a sign of weakness. Yet this conviction leaves him lonelier, his heart heavy with unspoken longing. The city outside the factory hums with life, but Liam feels cut off, as if he exists on an island of his own making. He notices small moments: a coworker's tired smile, a shared glance during a long shift, but he brushes them aside, convinced they mean nothing. His evenings are spent alone in his small apartment, the television flickering, its noise filling the silence he cannot bear. He wonders why his hard work does not fill the emptiness, why his independence feels like a weight rather than freedom. In Zen Buddhism, This is the illusion of separation, the belief that we are alone in our struggles, disconnected from the web of life that holds us all. Liam's story is one of quiet yearning, a journey towards seeing that his strength lies not in standing alone, but in weaving himself into the lives around him. And so, we pause. What might happen if Liam sees the threads that connect him to others? Liam's isolation deepens as he pours himself into his work, chasing personal goals with a single-minded focus that leaves no room for others. He measures his worth by the boxes he packs, the hours he clocks, believing that success will prove he is enough. But this self-reliance only tightens the knot of loneliness in his chest. Each day a reminder of how alone he feels. He sees coworkers laughing together, sharing stories over coffee. But he tells himself he does not need that. That connection is a distraction from his goals. When a colleague offers help with a heavy load, Liam waves it away, his pride insisting he can manage alone. This choice pushes others further, their friendliness fading as he retreats into his shell. At home, he avoids calls from old friends, skips family gatherings, convinced he must focus on himself to get ahead. Yet, the more he isolates, the emptier he feels. His victories hollow, his heart aching for something he cannot name. He lies awake at night, replaying moments where he could have spoken, could have smiled, but chose silence instead. The factory's endless rhythm mirrors this cycle, each day blending into the next, no closer to the peace he seeks. Zen teaches that this suffering comes from the illusion of separation, the false belief that we exist apart from others, that our worth is ours alone to earn. Liam's loneliness grows, not because he lacks people, but because he cannot see the web of connection that surrounds him, the shared humanity that could ease his burden. Yet, in this solitude, a question stirs. Could there be strength in opening to others? One gray morning, Liam notices something different in the factory's hum. A co-worker, Sarah, quietly helping another struggling with a jammed machine. Their laughter, soft and genuine, cuts through the noise, sparking a flicker of curiosity in Liam's heart. He watches as they work together, their movements fluid, their ease a contrast to his own guarded solitude. For a moment, he wonders what it would feel like to join them, to share in that warmth. He tries to connect, offering a hesitant nod to Sarah during a break. But his voice catches, his fear of vulnerability holding him back. He mumbles a greeting, then retreats, feeling awkward, exposed, as if he has failed at something simple. Later, he tries again, asking a coworker about their weekend. But the conversation fizzles, his self-consciousness making it stilted. These small efforts falter, and Liam feels his isolation deepen. The gap between him and others wider than before. He wonders if he is meant to be alone, if connection is for others but not for him. Yet, the image of Sarah's kindness lingers, a seed planted in his mind, hinting at a truth he cannot yet grasp. He walks home through the city, noticing couples holding hands, strangers sharing a laugh, and feels a pang of longing, a wish to be part of something larger. In Zen, this is the beginning of awakening, a glimpse of interdependence that challenges the illusion of aloneness. Liam's failed attempts are not failures, but steps toward seeing the web that binds us all, a truth that waits patiently for him to embrace. Let us linger here. What might Liam discover if he opens his heart to this web? Part 2. Insight and Resolution. Seeing the web. One quiet afternoon, Sarah notices Liam's solitude and sits beside him during a break. Her presence gentle, unintrusive. She shares a Buddhist teaching she learned, that all beings are interconnected, like threads in a vast web, each life touching countless others. She speaks of the factory, how each worker's effort supports the whole, how no one succeeds alone. Liam listens, his heart stirring as he sees his own life in a new light, not as a solitary struggle, but as part of something larger. He realizes his belief in standing alone has kept him from the warmth of connection, from the truth that his worth is woven into the lives around him. Hesitantly, he shares a small story about his day, and Sarah listens, her smile encouraging. For the first time, Liam feels seen, not for his work, but for his presence. He begins to open up, offering a kind word to a coworker, joining a brief chat at lunch. These small acts feel unfamiliar, but they warm his heart, like sunlight breaking through clouds. The factory feels less cold, its hum less oppressive, as he sees himself as part of its rhythm, not apart from it. In Zen, this is the awakening to interdependence, the understanding that no one exists alone, that our lives are bound by invisible threads of shared humanity. And so, a light dawns. How might this web change the way Liam lives? In Zen Buddhism, interdependence is a truth that heals, a reminder that no one exists in isolation, that our lives are woven together in a delicate web of shared existence. Loneliness often stems from the ego's illusion of separation, the belief that we must succeed alone, that our worth is ours to prove. This mindset cuts us off, leaving us adrift in a sea of self-reliance, our hearts aching for connection we cannot name. Interdependence teaches us that our struggles, our joys, our very being, are tied to others, that we are never truly alone. By recognizing this shared humanity, we foster self-love, seeing ourselves not as flawed individuals, but as vital threads in a larger tapestry. This perspective softens our judgment, allowing us to embrace our imperfections as part of the human experience we share with others. Connection heals, not by erasing pain, but by placing it within a greater whole, where our worth is not earned, but inherent. When we offer kindness to others, we offer it to ourselves, nurturing a love that grows from seeing our place in the web. In Liam's story, this lesson transforms his loneliness, showing him that his heart is not alone, but held by the countless lives that touch his own. Now, let us explore. How can we weave this connection into our lives? Embracing interdependence begins with small, intentional acts, steps that draw us closer to the web of life. Try this. Each day, offer a kind word to someone, a coworker, a stranger, a simple, "You did great today," or "I appreciate your help." Notice how it feels, the warmth that flows both ways. Another practice is to pause before a meal, reflecting on the hands that grew the food, cooked it, brought it to you, a quiet acknowledgement of the web that sustains you. These acts root us in connection, reminding us we are part of something larger. Fear may arise, self-consciousness about reaching out, worry that our gesture will be awkward or rejected. When this happens, breathe. Smile at your own humanness, and try again, knowing that each step strengthens the web. Start small. Perhaps a smile to a neighbor, a thank you to a cashier. For those with busy lives, these moments fit into the cracks of a day. A brief pause to connect. Over time, these practices build a habit of seeing interdependence, a feeling held by the lives around us, like threads in a tapestry. Each act of kindness weaves us closer, nurturing self-love through shared humanity. Let us take this step. What might one kind act reveal about our place in the web? Pause. Breathe. Let the day soften. Imagine your life as a thread in a vast web, each moment of kindness weaving you closer to others. Your heart growing lighter with connection. Picture yourself offering a smile, a word, a small gesture, and feeling the warmth it returns. A reminder that you are not alone. This is the gift of interdependence, a path to self-love through shared existence. Tonight, try it. Offer one kind act, perhaps a thank you to someone who crosses your path, and notice the quiet shift within. Visualize a life enriched by these moments, where loneliness fades in the glow of connection. If this story resonates, join Zen Buddhism to weave peace into your life. Subscribe to our channel to deepen your journey toward calm. Your presence helps this sanctuary grow. a place where we nurture the web that holds us all. Liam's story shows us that we are never alone, that our worth is woven into the lives around us, our hearts bound by shared humanity. Take this step, one act of connection, and feel the web come alive. Your place in it clear and bright. Begin tonight. Let kindness be the thread that ties you to the world. A gentle return to the heart of who we are. Let us rest here. In this connection, we find our way home. Chapter 5. The Four Noble Truths for Healing. Part 1. Understanding the Truths. The search for relief. Suffering weaves through every life. A quiet ache that nudges us to seek relief in fleeting ways. In our modern world, society offers quick fixes. Consumerism, endless distractions, promises of joy in shiny packages. Yet, these solutions crumble under the weight of our deeper pain, leaving us feeling trapped, caught in a cycle of longing and disappointment. The pursuit of temporary pleasures, a new purchase, a brief escape, often masks the root of our struggles, offering no lasting peace. This avoidance takes an emotional toll. We feel stuck, as if suffering is a cage with no key. The heart grows heavy, yearning for a way to truly heal, to find a path that honors the truth of our pain rather than running from it. In this longing, we begin to sense that relief lies not in escaping suffering, but in understanding it. And yet, this search often leads us deeper into struggle. When we ignore the root of our pain, we fall into a cycle that binds us tighter, clinging to temporary pleasures, a moment of laughter, a fleeting distraction. We try to outrun discomfort, but it follows. This chase creates a pattern. We seek solace in the external, a new experience, a shiny object, only to find the ache returns, sharper than before. Each attempt to escape through distractions, scrolling screens, or endless busyness deepens our disconnection, leaving us hollow. The problem lies in our attachment, our belief that happiness is found outside ourselves. This reaction, this running, fuels more pain. As we drift further from the present moment, the cycle of suffering spins on, unbroken, until we pause to face the truth, to see that our clinging only tightens the knot of our struggles. In this realization, a new path begins to emerge. The Four Noble Truths, a cornerstone of Buddhist wisdom, offer a clear framework to understand and transform suffering. The first truth acknowledges that suffering exists, a universal thread in every life. The second reveals its cause, craving and ignorance. The third brings hope. Suffering can end. The fourth offers a path, the Noble Eightfold Path. guiding us toward liberation. This teaching is a gentle invitation. It tells us that while pain is real, it is not the end of the story. By understanding suffering, we unlock the potential for healing, for growth, for peace. Each truth builds on the last, showing us that through mindful action, ethical living, and wisdom, we can free ourselves from the cycle of pain. The Four Noble Truths are not just ideas. They're a map, a way to navigate life's challenges with clarity and compassion, leading us toward a deeper, more lasting freedom. This understanding opens a doorway to transformation. Picture a quiet moment when the weight of suffering feels lighter, when you realize it is not a permanent shadow. You sit, you breathe, and you see that pain can be transformed. This insight, that suffering is not fixed, sparks a gentle hope. You choose to explore the noble path, not as a grand leap, but as a small, intentional step toward healing. This act, this decision to walk forward, feels like planting a seed in soft earth. It is not about erasing pain, but about meeting it with courage, seeing it as a guide rather than a chain. In this shift, you find a quiet strength, a sense that freedom is possible, that peace is within reach. By choosing this path, you begin to walk with purpose, trusting that each step, however small, leads you closer to a life of balance and inner calm. Part 2. Practicing and connecting. The truths in action. The Four Noble Truths guide us to heal by addressing the roots of our suffering. Craving, the desire for things to be other than they are, and ignorance, the misunderstanding of life's nature, fuel our pain. When we cling to fleeting pleasures or resist what is, we deepen our struggles. Yet, the truths offer a way out. By seeing suffering clearly, we learn to let go of craving, to cultivate wisdom, to live with intention. This path fosters self-love, not through indulgence, but through understanding, through meeting ourselves with kindness. Each step along the noble path, right speech, right action, right mindfulness, builds a bridge to freedom. The value of this teaching lies in its clarity. It shows us that suffering is not our fault, but our response to it shapes our healing. By embracing these truths, we find peace, a gentle unfolding of the heart. Now, let us bring this wisdom into daily life. Walking the noble path begins with small, mindful steps, like reflecting daily on your intentions. Each evening, pause for 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what guided my actions today? Was it kindness? Was it clarity? This simple practice roots you in the present. aligning your choices with compassion and wisdom. Meditation can help. Sit quietly. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Let them pass like leaves on a stream. Obstacles will arise. Impatience. Doubt. The urge to rush forward. Start small. Be patient. Trust that progress unfolds gently. In daily challenges, a harsh word, a moment of stress, pause, breathe, choose a response that honors the path. This practice builds courage, a steady strength to face life's ups and downs. By walking this path mindfully, you cultivate peace, not as a distant goal, but as a quiet presence in each moment. And so, we arrive at a moment to reflect and begin. The Four Noble Truths offer a profound truth. Healing comes from understanding suffering, from seeing it clearly and walking the path to liberation. Pain is not a dead end. It is a guide, pointing us toward wisdom, compassion, and peace. By embracing these truths, we learn to let go of craving, to live with intention, to find freedom in the present moment. Tonight, take a moment to reflect. Sit quietly. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to? What can I release? This small act plants a seed for healing, a step toward a lighter heart. If this resonates, join us on this journey. Discover peace with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe now. Let these teachings guide you, not as rules, but as a gentle invitation to live fully, to heal deeply, to walk with grace through life's inevitable waves. Chapter 8. The Gift of Loving Kindness. Sarah moves through the sterile corridors of a hectic hospital, her scrubs wrinkled from endless shifts, her steps heavy with exhaustion that seeps into her bones. The fluorescent lights hum overhead, casting stark shadows on the linoleum floor, while monitors beep and voices call out in a relentless chorus of urgency. She checks charts, administers medications, and offers brief smiles to patients. But her heart feels distant, as if sealed behind a glass wall. The hospital's chaos mirrors her inner world, a whirlwind of tasks that leaves no room for rest, no space for herself. Sarah has always been a caregiver, pouring her energy into others. Yet she struggles to offer that same care to herself. She feels drained, her compassion worn thin by long hours and the weight of others' suffering. At night, she collapses into bed, her mind replaying moments where she could have done more, been kinder, been better. She judges herself harshly, believing she is not enough, not for her patients, not for her colleagues, not for herself. This self-criticism is a quiet ache, a coldness that creeps into her days, stealing the warmth she once felt in her work. She notices the laughter of nurses in the break room. There is a stark contrast to her own isolation. But she cannot join them, convinced she does not deserve their lightness. Her apartment is a small refuge. Yet even there, she feels disconnected. Surrounded by unopened mail and untouched hobbies, reminders of a life she no longer recognizes. She tells herself she should be stronger, more resilient, able to handle the demands without faltering. But this only deepens her fatigue. The faces of her patients blur together, their pain a mirror to her own unspoken struggles. Yet she cannot find the words to soothe herself. She longs for a moment of peace, a way to feel whole again, to reconnect with the heart she has buried under duty. In Zen Buddhism, this is the cold heart, a state of disconnection born from forgetting how to love oneself, a call to awaken to the gift of compassion. Sarah's story is one of quiet struggle, a journey toward rediscovering the warmth that lies within her, waiting to be kindled. And so, we pause. What might happen if Sarah learns to offer kindness to herself? Sarah's exhaustion hardens into resentment, a heavy wall that distances her from herself and those around her. She feels unappreciated, her efforts unnoticed by colleagues, her sacrifices unseen by patients who move on without a word. This sense of unworthiness festers, whispering that she is failing, that her care is not enough, that she is not enough. She begins to withdraw, her smiles curt, her interactions brief, as if guarding her heart from further strain. At home, she avoids calls from friends, skips dinners with family, convinced they cannot understand her fatigue. The more she pulls away, the deeper her pain grows, a cycle of resentment that leaves her feeling more alone. She notices a patient's harsh words, a coworker's oversight, and takes them personally, each moment fueling her belief that she is undervalued. Her heart grows cold, not from anger, but from a quiet despair that she cannot measure up. She tries to push through, working longer hours, taking on extra shifts, hoping to prove her worth. But this only deepens her exhaustion. Her body heavy, her sleep restless. The hospital's demands feel endless, a tide she cannot swim against. Yet she blames herself for struggling. Zen teaches that this suffering comes from a lack of compassion, a refusal to see oneself as worthy of care, a wall built from the illusion of unworthiness. Sarah feels trapped, her heart yearning for relief, for a way to soften the resentment that keeps her from love. Yet, in this heaviness, a question stirs. Could kindness be the key to breaking this wall? One evening, drained and restless, Sarah joins a meditation class at a community center. Hoping for a moment of peace, the teacher speaks of loving kindness, metta, a practice of offering compassion to oneself and others, a concept that feels foreign to her tired heart. She tries the meditation, silently repeating phrases of goodwill. May I be happy. May I be safe. But the words feel awkward, almost forced, as if she is speaking to a stranger. Her mind wanders, pulled back to the hospital, to her failures, to the resentment that clings to her. She feels resistance, a voice insisting she does not deserve this kindness, that her struggles are her fault. The class ends, and she leaves feeling frustrated, convinced she has failed at this too. Yet, the idea of metta lingers, a faint spark in her mind, a reminder of the warmth she once knew. She tries again at home, sitting quietly, but the phrases feel hollow. Her heart still closed to herself. She wonders why it is so hard to offer herself the care she gives so freely to others, why her own pain feels unworthy of attention. In Zen, this is the beginning of awakening, a moment of struggle that opens the door to compassion, a chance to see oneself with new eyes. Sarah's attempts, though faltering, are steps toward softening, toward rediscovering the love she has buried beneath her exhaustion. Let us linger here. What might Sarah find if she opens her heart to metta? Part 2. Insight and Resolution. Embracing metta. One quiet shift. A patient, frail and kind, takes Sarah's hand and thanks her, his gratitude piercing the wall around her heart. His words, simple and sincere, remind her of the meditation class, of the metta practice she struggled with. She pauses in an empty hallway, closes her eyes, and tries again, whispering, "May I be happy. May I be safe." This time, the words feel softer, less forced, as if speaking to a part of herself long ignored. She realizes that compassion must begin within, that she cannot give to others what she denies herself. The patient's gratitude becomes a mirror, showing her that her care matters, that she is worthy of the same kindness. Slowly, she begins to practice metta, wishing herself peace during quiet moments, offering herself the care she so easily gives to others. Her heart softens, the resentment easing as she sees her struggles not as failures, but as part of her humanity. She smiles at a colleague, lingers in a conversation, and feels a warmth she had forgotten. In Zen, this is the power of metta, a practice that starts with self-love and radiates outward, connecting us to the shared heart of all beings. Sarah's small act of compassion becomes a turning point, a step toward healing, toward a life warmed by kindness. And so, a light dawns. How might this kindness transform Sarah's heart? In Zen Buddhism, loving kindness, or metta, is a gentle flame that warms the heart, healing the wounds of disconnection and self-judgment, lack of compassion for ourselves and others, fuels a sense of separation, leaving us cold, isolated, unable to see our own worth. We judge ourselves harshly, believing we must earn love through perfection, through endless giving. But this only deepens our pain. Metta teaches us to offer kindness first to ourselves, to embrace our flaws, our fatigue, our humanness, as worthy of care. By repeating simple phrases, "May I be happy," "May I be safe," we plant seeds of love that grow within, softening the edges of our inner critic. This practice fosters self-love, not as a selfish act, but as the foundation for loving others. A wellspring that flows outward. When we hold ourselves with compassion, we see others with the same gentleness, our hearts opening to shared humanity. Metta heals emotional wounds, not by erasing pain, but by cradling it with kindness, allowing us to rest in the truth that we are enough. In Sarah's story, Metta is a bridge, connecting her to herself and others. A reminder that love begins within and radiates to all. Now, let us explore. How can we bring metta into our daily lives? Metta meditation is a simple practice, a gentle way to cultivate compassion in even the busiest lives. Find a quiet moment, perhaps before bed, and sit comfortably, closing your eyes if it feels right. Silently repeat, "May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be at peace." Letting each phrase settle into your heart. Picture yourself held in warmth, as you would hold a dear friend. If your mind wanders to doubts or judgments, notice them. Breathe and return to the phrases, offering yourself patience. Another practice is to extend metta outward. After a few minutes for yourself, wish the same for someone you love, then a stranger, then all beings. Doubt may arise, a feeling that this is awkward, that you do not deserve this kindness. When this happens, smile softly, breathe, and continue, knowing that discomfort is part of growth. Start small, perhaps a minute of metta during a break, or a single phrase when stress rises. For those with packed schedules, try whispering metta in your mind while waiting in line or before a task. Over time, these moments build a habit of compassion, warming your heart like sunlight on a cold day. Like Sarah, you can begin with one kind thought, letting it grow into a practice that heals and connects. Let us take this step. What might one moment of metta reveal about your heart? Pause. Breathe. Let the day soften. Imagine your heart glowing with kindness, warmed by a single act of metta, a wish for your own peace. Picture yourself whispering, "May I be happy," and feeling a gentle ease, a lightness that spreads to those around you. This is the gift of loving kindness, a practice that begins within and radiates outward, healing disconnection with love. Tonight, try it. Sit for a moment. Offer yourself one kind phrase, and notice the warmth it brings. Visualize a life where compassion flows freely, where your heart is a beacon of peace for yourself and others. If this resonates, spread love with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe today to deepen your journey toward calm. Your presence helps this sanctuary grow, a place where we nurture kindness together. Sarah's story reminds us that love starts within, a small spark that lights up the world. Take this step, one moment of metta, perhaps wishing yourself peace before sleep, and feel the shift within. Your heart is ready, waiting to bloom with compassion, to connect you to the shared pulse of all beings. Begin tonight. Let kindness be the gift you give yourself, a gentle return to the heart of who you are. Let us rest here. In this kindness, we find our way home. Chapter 7: The Dance of Impermanence. Part 1: Understanding Impermanence. In our modern lives, we often cling to the past, grasping at moments of success or stumbling over old failures, as if they define us forever. Society worships permanence, urging us to hold on to youth, status, or achievements, as if change is a betrayal. This fixation traps us, weaving regret for what was or fear of what might come. The emotional toll is heavy. We carry the weight of who we were, unable to embrace who we are now. Each memory we clutch, each milestone we mourn, pulls us from the present, dimming our capacity for self-love. The heart aches for stability, yet life whispers a different truth. Nothing lasts unchanged. By holding tightly to the past, we resist the flow of life, losing sight of the beauty in our ever-evolving selves. This clinging, though, only deepens our struggle. When we anchor ourselves to fixed identities, to who we were or think we should be, we invite suffering. Attachment to a past self, a moment of glory, a shadow of failure, binds us to a story that no longer fits. We resist life's natural flow, fighting change as if it steals something vital. This resistance creates a quiet pain, a tension that grows as we push against the current of time. We cling to old roles, a job, a relationship, a version of ourselves, hoping to freeze the moment. Yet, life moves on, and our refusal to move with it leaves us feeling lost, disconnected from the present. The more we hold on, the heavier the burden, the deeper the ache. Only by loosening our grip can we begin to see that change is not our enemy, but our path to freedom. And so, a gentler truth begins to unfold. The Buddhist view of impermanence. In Buddhist wisdom, impermanence is a liberating truth, a reminder that everything changes. Our joys, our pains, our very selves. This teaching invites us to see that nothing is fixed. Not the moments we cherish, nor the struggles we endure. Our pain, too, is impermanent. It rises and falls like waves on a shore. By embracing this truth, we free ourselves from rigid self-concepts, from the need to be a certain way forever. This shift fosters self-acceptance, allowing us to meet ourselves as we are now, not as we were or wish to be. Impermanence is not loss. It is a dance, an invitation to move with life's rhythm. In this understanding, we find freedom, a chance to let go of old wounds and step lightly into the present. With a heart open to growth and change, this truth calls us to release what no longer serves us. Imagine a quiet moment, sitting in meditation, where you release a past regret. You breathe. You feel the weight of an old story, and you let it go, like leaves falling from a tree. In this act, you see that change is not loss, but freedom, a chance to embrace the self you are today. This insight softens the heart, showing that the past does not define you. It simply shapes the path you walk. Releasing attachment, you sit with the present, noticing the breath, the moment, the fleeting nature of all things. This simple act, this letting go, becomes a quiet revolution, a step toward peace. By surrendering the need for permanence, you open to the beauty of now, finding a gentle strength in the flow of life, a freedom to love yourself as you are. Part 2. Practicing and connecting. Clinging to permanence fuels our suffering, tying us to ideas of who we should be or once were. This attachment creates a cage, locking us away from the present. From self-love, Buddhist teachings show us that impermanence is the key to freedom. By accepting that all things change, we release the need to hold tightly to fixed identities. This letting go opens space for healing, for a deeper connection to ourselves. When we stop fighting change, we begin to see our pain as temporary, our struggles as part of life's flow. This understanding brings value. It allows us to meet each moment with kindness, to love ourselves not for who we might become, but for who we are now. Impermanence is a gift, a gentle reminder that every ending makes way for a new beginning. Every change, a chance to grow. Now, let us bring this wisdom into practice. To embrace impermanence, try a simple practice. Each day, note 3 changes around you: a shifting cloud, a fading emotion, a new thought. Write them down or hold them in your mind, observing them without judgment. This mindful noting trains the heart to see change as natural, not something to fear. When discomfort arises, a worry, a loss, remind yourself it is temporary. It will pass like all things. Start small, accepting the fleeting nature of a single moment, and watch your fear of change soften. Obstacles may come, resistance, unease, but with patience, you build courage to flow with life. In daily challenges, pause. Notice the impermanence of your feelings and choose to let go. This practice weaves acceptance into your life, creating space for peace, for a love of self that dances with the ever-changing now. And so, we come to a moment of reflection and release. Impermanence is a gentle gift, a truth that teaches us to let go, to grow, to find peace in life's constant dance. By embracing change, we free ourselves from the weight of fixed identities, opening our hearts to self-love and healing. Each moment of release, each step into the present, is a chance to grow, to see the beauty in life's fleeting nature. Tonight, reflect on something you hold on to: a regret, a fear, and ask, can I let this go? Can I trust the flow of change? This small act plants a seed for freedom, a path to peace. If this resonates, join us. Embrace peace with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe now. Let impermanence guide you, not as a loss, but as a doorway to a lighter heart, a life lived fully in each unfolding moment. Chapter 8: The River of Equanimity. The storm of emotions. Mark stands at the front of a noisy classroom, chalk dust on his hands, his voice straining over the chatter of students who barely listen. The school is a whirlwind of demands. Lesson plans piling up, parent emails flooding his inbox, deadlines pressing like weights on his chest. Outside the classroom, his personal life is in disarray. Unpaid bills cluttering his desk, arguments with his partner echoing in his mind, sleepless nights spent worrying about tomorrow. Mark feels caught in a storm of emotions. One moment elated when a student smiles, the next plunged into frustration when a lesson fails. He swings between hope and despair, his heart tugged by every high and low, leaving him exhausted, unsteady, as if he is drowning in his own feelings. He longs for balance, a way to stand firm amid the chaos. But the more he tries to steady himself, the more he feels swept away. In the staff room, he watches colleagues laugh, their ease a stark contrast to his own turmoil. and he wonders why he cannot find that calm. At home, he paces his small apartment, the television droning to fill the silence, his mind racing with what he should have said, should have done. He tells himself he should be stronger, more composed, able to handle the demands without crumbling. But this only deepens his stress. The classroom's chaos mirrors his inner world, a relentless tide of emotions that pulls him under. He notices small moments, a student's kind note, a quiet sunset, but they slip away, overshadowed by the next wave of worry. Mark feels like a leaf in a storm, tossed by every gust, yearning for a place to rest. To feel whole again, he dreams of teaching with joy, of living with peace. But each day feels like a battle he cannot win. In Zen Buddhism, this is the storm of reactivity, a call to find equanimity, a steady heart that flows like a river through life's ups and downs. Mark's story is one of struggle and hope, a journey toward balance in the face of chaos. And so, we pause. What might happen if Mark finds a way to flow with the river? Mark's days are a roller coaster, his emotions swinging wildly with each challenge. A failed lesson sparking anger, a kind word from a colleague igniting fleeting joy. He reacts strongly to every moment, his heart racing with frustration when a student misbehaves, sinking with guilt when he snaps in response. This reactivity leaves him drained, his energy spent on chasing stability that never lasts. He tries to control his emotions, telling himself to stay calm, to push down the anger, the worry, the sadness that bubble up. But suppression only fuels his inner turmoil, the feelings festering beneath the surface, bursting out in moments of irritation or despair. At home, he avoids difficult conversations, bottling up his stress. But it spills over, straining his relationships, deepening his sense of failure. He lies awake, replaying the day's lows, berating himself for not being patient, for not being enough. The more he tries to force calm, the more frustrated he becomes. His efforts like grasping at water, slipping through his fingers. He wonders why he cannot stay steady, why his emotions rule him despite his best intentions. Zen teaches that this suffering comes from clinging to control, from fighting the natural flow of feelings, creating a storm within. Mark feels trapped, his heart yearning for peace, for a way to navigate life's highs and lows without being swept away. Yet, in this struggle, a question rises. Could there be a way to rest amid the storm? One evening, exhausted and restless, Mark listens to a Buddhist podcast, its gentle voice speaking of equanimity, the art of staying balanced amid life's waves. The idea resonates, a promise of calm in his chaotic world. But when he tries to practice it, he falters. In the classroom, a student's disruption triggers his anger. And though he breathes deeply, trying to stay calm, the frustration surges, leaving him feeling defeated. At home, he attempts to sit quietly, to focus on his breath, but his mind races, pulled to worries about tomorrow, regrets about today. He feels awkward, as if equanimity is a skill he cannot grasp. His attempts clumsy, his heart still caught in the storm. The podcast's words linger, suggesting that control is not the answer, that equanimity comes from allowing emotions without clinging to them. Yet, Mark struggles. His old habits of reacting, suppressing, fighting his feelings, pulling him back. He wonders if he is too broken for this practice. If peace is for others but not for him. In Zen, this is the beginning of awakening, a glimpse of calm that challenges the need to control, a step towards seeing emotions as passing waves. Mark's failed attempts are not failures, but seeds of understanding, moments that invite him to let go and flow with the river of life. Let us linger here. What might Mark discover if he surrenders to this flow? One quiet afternoon, Mark takes a mindful walk in a nearby park. The crunch of leaves underfoot grounding him in the present. As he walks, a wave of stress rises, thoughts of a difficult day swirling. But he pauses, breathes, and tries something new, observing his emotions without fighting them. He notices the tightness in his chest, the worry in his mind, and instead of pushing it away, he lets it be, like clouds passing in the sky. For the first time, he feels a flicker of calm, a steadiness that holds him amid the emotional waves. The podcast's teaching comes alive. Equanimity is not about erasing feelings, but accepting them without clinging, without letting them define him. He begins to practice this in small moments, watching his frustration in the classroom, his sadness at home, with a gentle curiosity, not judgment. His heart softens, the storm within quieter, as he learns to flow with his emotions rather than fight them. In the classroom, he responds to a student's outburst with a calm breath, a steady voice, and feels a shift, a lightness he had not known. In Zen, this is the gift of equanimity, a steady heart that embraces life's ups and downs, finding balance in the present moment. And so, a light dawns. How might this steadiness change Mark's life? In Zen Buddhism, equanimity is a river of calm, a way to navigate emotional storms without being swept away. Reactivity fuels suffering. Our tendency to cling to joy, fight sadness, or suppress anger creates inner turmoil, pulling us from peace. we believe we must control our emotions to find stability. But this struggle only deepens our unrest, leaving us exhausted, disconnected from ourselves. Equanimity teaches us to observe feelings with openness, to let them rise and fall like waves on a shore. Without clinging or resisting, this practice fosters self-love, allowing us to accept our emotions as part of our humanity, not as flaws to fix. By staying steady amid life's highs and lows, we find inner stability, a calm that holds us through chaos. Equanimity does not erase pain, but cradles it with understanding, helping us see that our worth is not tied to fleeting emotions. When we rest in this balance, we nurture a love for ourselves that is unshaken by the storm, a peace that flows from within. In Mark's story, equanimity is a turning point, a way to embrace his feelings without being ruled by them, a path to a steady heart. Now, let us explore. How can we cultivate this balance in our lives? Equanimity is a gentle practice, a way to find calm amid life's storms, adaptable to any moment. Try this. When an emotion arises, stress, anger, or joy, pause and breathe, labeling the feeling silently. This is frustration. This is sadness. Observe it with curiosity, noticing how it feels in your body, without trying to change it. If your mind races, gently return to your breath, letting the emotion pass like a wave. Another practice is to sit for 5 minutes each day, focusing on your breath. And when thoughts or feelings arise, name them softly, then let them go. Resistance may come, discomfort with sitting still, or an urge to push feelings away. When this happens, smile, breathe, and continue, knowing that each moment of observation builds steadiness. Start small. Perhaps a single breath during a stressful moment, or a quiet pause before bed. For busy days, try labeling an emotion while waiting in line or during a break. Over time, this practice fosters a calm center, a river of equanimity that carries you through life's ups and downs. Like Mark, you can begin with one mindful moment, letting it grow into a habit of balance and peace. Let us take this step. What might one moment of equanimity reveal about your heart? Pause. Breathe. Let the day soften. Imagine your mind as a calm river, flowing steadily through life's storms. Emotions rising and falling without pulling you under. Picture yourself pausing in a hectic moment, labeling a feeling. This is stress, and feeling a quiet steadiness, a peace that holds you firm. This is the gift of equanimity, a practice that balances the heart, fostering self-love amid life's chaos. Tonight, try it. Pause for a breath. Observe an emotion without judgment, and notice the calm it brings. Visualize a life where balance guides you, where your heart remains steady through highs and lows. If this resonates, find balance with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe today to deepen your journey toward calm. Your presence helps this sanctuary grow, a place where we nurture peace together. Mark's story reminds us that equanimity is possible, that we can flow with life's waves without being swept away. Take this step, one mindful moment, perhaps observing a feeling tonight, and feel the shift within. Your heart is ready, waiting to rest in the steady flow of equanimity. A gentle return to the heart of who you are. Let us rest here. In this balance, we find our way home. Chapter 9. The Mirror of Non-Self. Part 1. Understanding Non-Self. In our bustling world, we feel pressure to define ourselves through roles: parent, worker, friend, as if these labels hold the key to our worth. Society demands a fixed identity, a clear answer to who we are, pushing us to fit neatly into boxes of expectation. Yet, this demand carries a heavy toll. We feel trapped, confined by roles that limit our freedom to simply be. The stress of maintaining these identities pulls us from the present, dimming the light of self-love. We strive to meet external standards, to prove ourselves, only to find the heart growing weary, yearning for release. Each role we cling to becomes a weight, a barrier to embracing our fluid, ever-changing nature. The truth whispers softly. We are more than our labels, more than the stories we tell ourselves. By holding tightly to these roles, we lose touch with the deeper essence of who we are, longing for a path to inner peace. This burden, though, stirs a deeper struggle within us, clinging to a rigid self-image, an ego-driven need to be someone, creates a quiet disconnection from our true selves. We build identities around achievements, roles, or ideals, believing they define our value. Yet this attachment breeds conflict. The ego demands we defend this self. We argue, we compare, we strive to prove our worth, only to feel more isolated. This reaction, this need to protect who we think we are, fuels inner tension, pulling us further from self-love. Each time we cling to being a certain way, we resist the natural flow of life, creating ripples of suffering. The more we defend our fixed identity, the more we feel trapped, caught in a cycle of striving and dissatisfaction. True peace lies not in holding on to who we think we are, but in loosening our grip, in seeing that the self we cling to is but a fleeting shadow, ever shifting in the light of life's unfolding moments. And so, a gentler truth begins to emerge. In Buddhist wisdom, the teaching of non-self offers a path to freedom, revealing that the self is not fixed, but fluid, a dance of moments woven into the fabric of existence. This core idea invites us to see that we are not bound by rigid identities, not confined to roles or labels that define us. Our pain, our struggles, arise from clinging to a solid sense of self, but non-self shows us we are ever-changing, interconnected with all things. By letting go of the ego's need to be someone, we heal inner conflict, opening space for self-love to bloom. This shift is liberating. It allows us to meet ourselves with kindness, to embrace our imperfections as part of life's flow. Non-self is not a loss, but a gift, a chance to release the weight of fixed ideas and find peace in the fluidity of being. To love ourselves not as a static self, but as a living, breathing part of the whole. This truth invites us to see beyond our limited selves. Imagine a quiet moment of realization, sitting in stillness, where you see the self as interconnected, not isolated. You breathe. You feel the boundaries of your identity soften, and you sense your place within a larger whole. This insight reveals that the self is not a solitary island, but a thread woven into the tapestry of life, connected to others, to nature, to the universe. Releasing attachment to roles, you let go of the need to be a certain way, like dropping a heavy stone into a calm stream. This act, this loosening of the ego's grip, becomes a doorway to freedom, a step toward peace. By seeing beyond the self, you find a gentle strength, a clarity that allows you to love yourself not as a fixed entity, but as a flowing part of existence, ever changing, ever connected, ever free in the present moment of being. Part 2. Practicing and connecting. Clinging to a fixed self causes pain, as the ego's need to define and defend who we are creates suffering. Each time we hold tightly to roles or identities, we build walls between ourselves and the world, fostering isolation rather than connection. The teaching of non-self liberates us, showing that we are not bound by these rigid ideas, but are part of a vast, interconnected web of life. By letting go of the ego's demands, we dissolve the suffering that comes from striving to be someone. This release opens space for self-love, not as attachment to a static self, but as a gentle embrace of our fluid nature. The value of non-self lies in its power to foster connection to ourselves, to others, to the world around us. It is a path to freedom, a way to heal by seeing ourselves as part of something greater, a flowing current of life where love and peace arise naturally from letting go. Now, let us weave this wisdom into our daily lives. To practice non-self, try meditating on shared humanity. Sit quietly for 5 minutes, reflecting on how your joys and struggles mirror those of others. Picture a moment of connection, a smile shared, a kind word, and see yourself as part of a larger whole, not separate. This technique softens the ego's grip, reminding you that your identity is fluid, not fixed. When resistance arises and need to define yourself, pause, breathe, and notice the urge without judgment. Accept the discomfort of fluidity as temporary, a passing cloud in the sky of your mind. Start small, perhaps reflecting on one role you cling to, and ask, can I release this? Can I simply be? In daily life, practice seeing others as connected to you, their pain, their joy, a mirror of your own. This builds courage to let go, fostering a love that flows freely, rooted in the truth of our shared, ever-changing existence. And so, we arrive at a moment to reflect and release. The teaching of non-self is a gentle gift, offering freedom from the ego's weight, a path to healing through letting go. By releasing the need to be a fixed self, we open our hearts to love, to connection, to the beauty of our fluid nature. Each moment we let go, we step closer to peace, seeing ourselves as part of life's vast, interconnected flow. Tonight, reflect on a role or identity you hold tightly. Ask, can I release this? Can I embrace my place in the whole? This small act plants a seed for freedom, a path to a lighter heart. If this resonates, join us. Discover freedom with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe now. Let non-self guide you, not as a loss, but as a doorway to love, to peace, to a life lived fully in the ever-flowing present, where we are all connected, all part of the same unfolding moment. Chapter 10. The Path of Gratitude. Anna stands behind the counter of a busy retail store, scanning items under harsh fluorescent lights. The beep of the register, a steady rhythm in her ears. The store is a blur of customers, their demands piling up, while shelves need restocking and her manager's voice echoes with reminders of tasks undone. Her days blend into one another, a monotonous cycle of early shifts, sorefit, and a paycheck that barely covers her bills. Financial stress gnaws at her, rent looming, groceries a careful calculation, her dreams of a better life fading like old receipts. At home, her small apartment feels cramped, cluttered with reminders of what she cannot afford. A new coat, a weekend away, a moment of ease. Anna feels life lacks meaning. Each day a grind that leaves her empty, her heart heavy with the sense that something is missing. She scrolls through social media, seeing friends' vacations, their new jobs, their smiling faces, and a quiet envy creeps in, whispering that her life falls short. She tells herself she should have more. A better career, a bigger home, a brighter future. But these thoughts only deepen her discontent. The store's bustle mirrors her inner restlessness, a constant hum of wanting, of not enough. She notices small joys, a coworker's laugh, a child's smile, but they slip away, overshadowed by her focus on lack. At night, she lies awake, her mind replaying what she does not have, what she has not achieved. She longs for a spark, a reason to feel alive, to find meaning in the ordinary. In Zen Buddhism, this is the weight of lack, a suffering born from clinging to what is missing, a call to awaken to the abundance already present. Anna's story is one of quiet struggle, a journey toward finding joy in the life she lives, toward loving herself through gratitude. And so, we pause. What might happen if Anna sees the gifts already in her hands? Anna's fixation on what she lacks fuels a cycle of dissatisfaction, pulling her further from self-love. She compares her life to others, their promotions, their travels, their seemingly effortless happiness, and feels her own existence pales in contrast. Each day at the store, she notices what goes wrong. A rude customer, a late delivery, a shift that drags on too long. This focus on lack spills into her thoughts, her mind whispering that she is not successful enough, not fulfilled enough, not enough. She complains to herself, to coworkers, about the job, the bills, the endless routine. But this only deepens her unhappiness, her heart sinking under the weight of discontent. She tries to push through, working extra hours, hoping for a raise. But the effort leaves her more tired, more resentful. At home, she avoids friends, skips outings, convinced her life is too small to share. The more she dwells on what is missing, the more isolated she feels, her world shrinking to a list of should-haves and could-haves. She wonders why happiness eludes her, why her efforts to improve only tighten the knot in her chest. Zen teaches that this suffering comes from clinging to lack, from seeing only what is absent instead of what is present, a cycle that blinds her to the beauty of her own life. Anna feels trapped, her heart yearning for a way to break free, to find peace in the ordinary. Yet, in this darkness, a question blooms. Could there be a way to see her life with new eyes? One slow afternoon, Anna overhears a coworker, Mia, share how she keeps a gratitude journal, listing things she appreciates each day, even in their tough job. The idea feels foreign to Anna. her mind so accustomed to lack. But Mia's calm smile sparks curiosity. She tries it that evening, sitting with a notebook, listing things she is thankful for. A warm meal, a kind word from a customer, a moment of quiet. But the exercise feels forced, her heart unconvinced, as if she is reciting lines that do not ring true. She tries again the next day, writing about the sunlight through the store window, a coworker's help with a task. But the words feel hollow, her mind drifting to her struggles. She feels frustrated, wondering if gratitude is for others, not for her. Her discontent too heavy to lift. Mia's words linger, though, suggesting that gratitude grows with sincerity, not perfection. Anna tries once more, but her heart resists, stuck in the habit of seeing lack. In Zen, this is the beginning of awakening, a spark of gratitude that challenges the cycle of discontent, a step toward seeing life's gifts. Anna's attempts, though faltering, are seeds of change, moments that invite her to open her heart to what is already there. Let us linger here. What might Anna find if she embraces gratitude with sincerity? One busy morning, a customer thanks Anna for her patience, her kind words cutting through the noise of the store. The moment catches Anna off guard, a small light in her clouded heart, and she pauses, feeling a flicker of warmth. She recalls Mia's gratitude practice and tries it with sincerity, standing quietly after her shift, whispering thanks for the customer's kindness, for her own steady hands, for the breath in her lungs. This time, the gratitude feels real, not forced. A gentle shift in her perspective. She realizes that gratitude is not about ignoring pain, but about seeing the small joys woven into it, transforming lack into abundance. Anna begins to notice more: the warmth of her coffee, the laughter of a coworker, the way the store's chaos holds moments of connection. Her heart softens, the weight of discontent easing as she sees her life with new eyes, not as a list of lacks, but as a tapestry of small gifts. She smiles at a customer, lingers in a chat with Mia, and feels a lightness she had forgotten. In Zen, this is the power of gratitude, a practice that opens the heart to what is, nurturing self-love through appreciation. Anna's small moment becomes a turning point, a step toward a life filled with quiet joy. And so, a light dawns. How might this gratitude reshape Anna's heart? 600 words. In Zen Buddhism, gratitude is a gentle key, unlocking the heart from the chains of lack and suffering. Focusing on what is missing fuels discontent, a cycle where we see only scarcity, blinding us to the abundance in our lives. We compare, we crave, we judge ourselves for not having enough, not being enough, and this creates a restlessness that steals our peace. Gratitude shifts this, inviting us to notice what is present: the breath in our body, the kindness of a stranger, the ordinary beauty of a day. This practice aligns with Buddhist teachings, fostering self-love by helping us see our lives as enough, our hearts as worthy of care. Gratitude does not erase pain, but holds it alongside joy, weaving both into a fuller understanding of life. By appreciating small moments, we nurture a love for ourselves that is not tied to achievements or possessions, but to our very existence. When we open our hearts to gratitude, we find abundance within, a peace that grows from seeing what is already there. In Anna's story, gratitude is a bridge, connecting her to herself, to the richness of her life, to the truth that she is enough. Now, let us explore. How can we cultivate this gratitude in our lives? Gratitude is a simple practice, a soft lens to see life's gifts, adaptable to any day. Try this. Each night, write 3 things you are thankful for. Perhaps a warm meal, a kind word, a moment of rest. Sit quietly. Let the words sink in, feeling their truth in your heart. Another practice is to pause during the day, noticing one thing you appreciate: the sunlight, a smile, the feel of your breath. If doubt arises, a sense that your life is too small for gratitude, or that the practice feels forced, breathe, smile, and try again, starting with the smallest moment. Start small. Perhaps a single thankful thought before bed, or a quiet thank you during a break. For busy days, try whispering gratitude in your mind while waiting in line or before a task. Over time, these moments build a habit of appreciation, shifting your heart from lack to abundance. Resistance may come, a feeling that gratitude is not enough to change your pain. But persist, knowing each act of thanks is a step toward peace. Like Anna, you can begin with one grateful thought, letting it grow into a practice that warms your heart, revealing the gifts already within you. Let us take this step. What might one moment of gratitude reveal about your life? Pause. Breathe. Let the day soften. Imagine your heart filling with appreciation, warmed by a single grateful thought. A thank you for the breath you take, the life you live. Picture yourself noticing a small joy, a kind face, a quiet moment, and feeling your heart lift, your world brighter with gratitude. This is the gift of gratitude, a practice that transforms pain into appreciation, nurturing self-love through the beauty of what is. Tonight, try it. Write one thing you are thankful for, or whisper thanks for a moment in your day, and notice the warmth it brings. Visualize a life where gratitude guides you, where your heart sees abundance in the ordinary. If this resonates, find joy with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe today to deepen your journey toward calm. Your presence helps this sanctuary grow, a place where we nurture gratitude together. Anna's story reminds us that joy is not in what we lack, but in what we already hold. Take this step, one grateful moment, perhaps thanking yourself for trying, and feel the shift within. Your heart is ready, waiting to bloom with appreciation, to connect you to the richness of this moment. Let us rest here. In this gratitude, we find our way home. Chapter 11, The Stillness of Acceptance. Part 1, Understanding Acceptance. In our hurried lives, we often resist life's challenges, pushing against pain, loss, or failure, as if we can force the world to bend to our will. Society urges us to fix problems quickly, to overcome obstacles with relentless effort, to erase discomfort with solutions. Yet, this fight carries a heavy emotional toll. Frustration builds. Exhaustion seeps into the heart. The constant struggle to change what is leaves us drained, unable to find the self-love that blooms in stillness. We yearn for control, clinging to the idea that life should be different. But this resistance only deepens our disconnection from the present. Each moment we fight reality, we lose touch with the gentle truth that healing begins when we stop battling what is. By resisting, we dim the light of our own peace, longing for a way to soften, to rest in the flow of life's unfolding moments. This resistance, though, pulls us into a deeper struggle. When we fight reality, denying life's challenges like loss or failure, we create a tension that binds us to suffering. The problem lies in our refusal to accept what is. We push against the truth, believing we can control the uncontrollable. This struggle manifests in restless thoughts, in efforts to rewrite the past or force a different future. Each attempt to resist, to deny the reality of a moment, deepens our pain, leaving us caught in a cycle of frustration and unrest. We exhaust ourselves trying to change what cannot be changed, clinging to illusions of control that slip through our fingers. The more we battle life's flow, the more disconnected we become, losing sight of the peace that waits in surrender. Only by softening our resistance, by turning toward reality, can we begin to loosen the grip of suffering and find a path to healing. And so, a gentler path begins to unfold. In Buddhist wisdom, acceptance is a profound practice, a way to free the heart by embracing life as it is, without judgment or resistance. This core idea teaches us that fighting reality creates suffering. but accepting it opens a door to peace. When we surrender to the truth of a moment, whether joyful or painful, we align with life's natural flow, letting go of the need to control. This surrender is not weakness, but a quiet strength. It allows healing to blossom through the simple act of being present with what is. Acceptance fosters self-love, inviting us to meet ourselves with kindness, to see our struggles as part of life's vast tapestry. By embracing reality, we find clarity, a spaciousness where pain softens and the heart opens. This practice is a gift, a path to liberation that transforms suffering into a doorway to peace, to a deeper connection with our true selves. This truth invites us to rest in the present moment. Imagine a moment of stillness, sitting in meditation, where you face a painful truth. You breathe. You feel the weight of resistance, and you let it go, like a leaf drifting on a stream. This insight reveals that acceptance is not defeat, but liberation, a release from the struggle to change what is. By letting go, you allow the truth of the moment to settle, seeing it not as an enemy, but as a teacher guiding you toward peace. This act, this softening, becomes a quiet turning point, a step into the flow of life. In this surrender, you find a gentle strength, a clarity that frees the heart from its restless fight. By embracing reality, you open to the present, discovering a calm that holds you steady, a love for yourself that grows in the stillness of simply being with what is. Fully alive in this fleeting moment. Part 2. Practicing and connecting. Resistance to reality fuels our suffering. As we fight against the truth of life's challenges, clinging to how things should be, this struggle creates a knot in the heart, tightening with each attempt to control the uncontrollable. The practice of acceptance, rooted in Buddhist teachings, unties this knot, aligning us with the flow of life. By embracing what is, we dissolve the tension of resistance, creating space for peace to arise. This act fosters self-love, not through changing ourselves, but through meeting ourselves with kindness in each moment. The value of acceptance lies in its power to heal, to connect us to the present, to the truth of our shared humanity. When we stop fighting reality, we find freedom, a gentle ease that allows us to rest in life's unfolding. Acceptance is a doorway to peace, a path to loving ourselves as we are, woven into the ever-changing tapestry of existence. Now, let us bring this wisdom into our daily lives. To cultivate acceptance, try a simple practice. When a challenge arises, pause and silently note, "This is how it is," letting the moment be without resistance. Sit for 5 minutes, observing your thoughts, your emotions, your reality. without trying to change them. This technique trains the heart to rest in the truth, to see each moment as it is. Start small, accepting a minor frustration, a delay, a discomfort, and watch the tension soften. Resistance may arise, the urge to fix or fight, but with patience, meet it with a gentle breath, trusting it will pass. In daily life, when pain or difficulty comes, pause, note, this is how it is, and let go of the need to control. This practice builds a quiet courage, a strength to flow with life's challenges. By cultivating acceptance, you create space for peace, for a love of self that embraces the truth of each unfolding moment. And so, we come to a moment of reflection and surrender. Acceptance is a gentle gift, a practice that opens the door to peace by aligning us with life's truth. By surrendering resistance, we free ourselves from the weight of fighting reality, finding a love for ourselves that blooms in stillness. Each moment we accept, each truth we embrace, becomes a step toward healing, a chance to rest in the flow of life. Tonight, try this. Pause, face a challenge, and softly say, "This is how it is." Letting the moment be. This small act plants a seed for serenity, a path to a lighter heart. If this resonates, join us. Find serenity with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe now. Let acceptance guide you, not as a loss, but as a doorway to peace, to a life lived fully in the present, where love and calm arise from embracing the truth of each fleeting, beautiful moment. Chapter 12. The Light Within. A story of healing. James sits in his cluttered apartment, surrounded by stacks of papers, half-finished projects, and the glow of a laptop screen that never seems to dim. The freelance life he once dreamed of has become a maze of deadlines, client demands, and bills that pile up faster than he can pay. His small space feels like a cage, the walls lined with reminders of tasks undone, dreams unfulfilled, and a life that feels stuck. Outside, the city hums with purpose, but James feels disconnected, as if the world moves on without him. He doubts himself constantly. Each missed deadline, each rejected proposal, a confirmation that he is broken, unworthy of success or happiness. His mind replays years of setbacks, a failed business venture, a relationship that crumbled, moments where he fell short and labeled himself a failure. He tells himself he should be more disciplined, more talented, more like the freelancers he sees thriving online. Their lives polished and bright. This self-doubt is a heavy shadow, dimming the light he once felt within, leaving him weary. his heart aching for meaning. At night, he scrolls through social media, comparing his struggles to others' successes. Each post a sting that deepens his sense of lack. He avoids mirrors, unable to face the tired eyes staring back, convinced they reflect someone who will never be enough. The apartment's mess mirrors his inner turmoil, a chaos of thoughts that whisper, he is flawed, unfixable. He longs for a spark, a reason to believe in himself again, to feel whole amidst the fragments of his life. In Zen Buddhism, this is the dimmed light, a state of forgetting one's inherent worth, a call to rediscover the radiance within. James's story is one of struggle and yearning, a journey toward healing through the light of self-love. And so, we pause. What might happen if James finds the light within his heart? James's self-doubt grows heavier, a shadow that cloaks his days in despair, pulling him further from himself. He feels unworthy. His past failures, a weight that convinces him he is broken, destined to fall short no matter how hard he tries. Each rejection from a client, each project that stalls, becomes proof of his inadequacy, his mind whispering that he does not deserve better. He isolates himself, declining invitations from friends, avoiding new opportunities, afraid they will only confirm his flaws. At home, he sits in silence, the hum of the city outside a reminder of a world he feels excluded from. He tries to work harder, to push through the doubt, but the effort leaves him drained, his heart sinking deeper into hopelessness. The more he dwells on his shortcomings, the more he withdraws, his world shrinking to the walls of his apartment, his thoughts a cycle of self-blame. He wonders why he cannot shake this feeling, why his efforts to improve only deepen his despair. Zen teaches that this suffering comes from clinging to doubt, from believing the self is flawed rather than whole, a shadow that obscures the light within. James feels lost, his heart yearning for a way to break free, to believe in his own worth again. Yet, in this darkness, a question stirs. Could there be a light waiting to shine through? One restless weekend, James attends a Buddhist retreat, seeking a break from his spiraling thoughts. The teacher speaks of the light within, the Buddha nature, an innate goodness that lives in everyone, untouched by failures or doubts. The words resonate, but James struggles to believe them, his mind insisting he is too broken to carry such light. He tries meditation, sitting quietly, focusing on his breath, but his thoughts wander to his failures, his heart heavy with unworthiness. He feels awkward, as if this practice is for others, not for him. His doubt a barrier to the peace he seeks. The retreat's calm atmosphere, the soft chants, the gentle presence of others, stirs a faint hope. But when he tries to meditate again, the same resistance arises. A voice telling him he does not deserve this light. He leaves the retreat feeling frustrated. Yet the teacher's words linger, a glimmer that challenges his belief in his brokenness. He wonders if there is truth in this idea, if he could possibly carry a light within, despite all he has been through. In Zen, this is the beginning of awakening, a moment of struggle that opens the door to healing, a chance to see oneself as whole. James's faltering attempts are not failures, but steps toward rediscovering the light that has always been there. Let us linger here. What might James find if he trusts in his inner light? During the retreat's final session, James joins a guided meditation, the teacher's voice soft, inviting him to picture a warm light in his heart, a glow that holds all his pain and worth. As he breathes, he feels a shift, the light growing brighter, embracing his doubts, his failures, his humanness. For the first time, he sees his worth not as something to earn, but as something inherent, a radiance that no setback can dim. He realizes that everyone carries this light, this Buddha nature, a goodness untouched by the world's judgments. Slowly, he begins to embrace himself, whispering, "I am enough." During quiet moments, feeling the words settle into his heart, his doubts soften, the shadow of unworthiness fading as he sees his struggles as part of his humanity, not proof of his lack. He smiles at a fellow retreat participant, shares a small story, and feels a warmth he had forgotten. Back home, he tidies his apartment, not out of shame, but as an act of care, a way to honor the light within. In Zen, this is the awakening to Buddha nature, a recognition of inherent goodness that heals old wounds, fostering self-love through acceptance. And so, a light dawns. How might this radiance transform James's life? In Zen Buddhism, Buddha nature is the radiant truth that every being carries an innate goodness, a light of worth that shines beneath doubt and pain. Self-doubt obscures this light, convincing us we are broken, unworthy, defined by our failures or flaws. This belief fuels suffering, chaining us to a cycle of judgment and despair, blinding us to our true nature. Recognizing Buddha nature heals, inviting us to see ourselves as whole, to embrace our imperfections as part of our shared humanity. This practice fosters self-love, not by achieving perfection, but by resting in the truth that we are enough as we are. When we connect to this inner light, we find peace, a steady glow that holds us through life's challenges. The light does not erase pain, but illuminates it, showing us that our worth is not earned, but inherent, a gift we carry always. In James' story, Buddha nature is a beacon, guiding him from despair to acceptance, revealing that his heart is whole, radiant, worthy of love. This recognition transforms, opening the heart to healing, to a life lived in the light of who we truly are. Now, let us explore. How can we connect to this inner light in our lives? Connecting to Buddha nature is a gentle practice, a way to rediscover your inner light, adaptable to any moment. Try this. Each night, sit quietly for 5 minutes, closing your eyes, picturing a warm glow in your heart. Whisper to yourself, "I am enough. I carry light within," letting the words settle like a soft embrace. If doubts arise, notice them, breathe, and return to the phrase, trusting its truth. Another practice is to reflect during the day, pausing to acknowledge one moment of goodness. Perhaps a kind act, a quiet strength, a simple breath. Resistance may come, a feeling that you are not worthy, that this light is for others. When this happens, smile, breathe, and continue, knowing that each moment of trust builds clarity. Start small. Perhaps a single phrase before bed, or a pause during a busy day. For crowded schedules, try whispering, "I am enough," while waiting in line, or before a task. Over time, these practices nurture a connection to your inner goodness, a light that shines through doubt, fostering self-love. Like James, you can begin with one moment of trust, letting it grow into a habit of healing and peace. Let us take this step. What might one moment of light reveal about your heart? Pause. Breathe. Let the day soften. Imagine your heart as a radiant light, glowing with goodness, healing every wound, every doubt. Picture yourself whispering, "I am enough," and feeling the warmth of your inner light, a steady glow that holds you through life's storms. This is the gift of Buddha nature, a recognition of your inherent worth, a path to self-love that shines from within. Tonight, try it. Sit for a moment. Picture your heart's light and feel its peace. Visualize a life where this radiance guides you, where you embrace yourself with love, no matter the setbacks. If this resonates, let your light shine with Zen Buddhism. Subscribe today to deepen your journey toward calm. Your presence helps this sanctuary grow, a place where we nurture our inner light together. James's story reminds us that we are never broken, that our goodness shines always, waiting to be seen. Take this step. One moment of trust, perhaps meditating on your light tonight, and feel the shift within. Your heart is ready, radiant, waiting to shine with love. A gentle return to the truth of who you are. Let us rest here. In this light, we find our way home. Summarizing the journey. Tonight, we journeyed through Buddhist teachings, gentle whispers of self-love and healing that light the path to inner peace. We explored mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude, each a soft key to unlock your heart's quiet strength. These lessons remind us that you are enough, just as you are, not defined by struggles or doubts, but by the radiant goodness within. This journey is a return to authenticity, a rediscovery of your inherent worth, aligned with the universal truth that all beings carry a spark of love, a light that no shadow can dim. These insights free you from the weight of self-criticism, the illusion that you must be perfect to be worthy. Instead, they invite you to rest in your humanness, to embrace your flaws as part of your beauty. By letting go of judgment, you find freedom, a peace that flows from accepting yourself fully. The teachings of Zen guide us back to this truth, showing that love begins within, a gentle act of turning inward to see the heart that has always been whole. As you rest tonight, let these lessons settle, a soft reminder that healing is not a race, but a quiet unfolding, a return to the love you already hold. And so, we pause. How does this journey feel in your heart? Picture a serene lake at dusk, its surface still, reflecting a sky of soft pinks and purples. A gentle breeze ripples the water, carrying away the day's worries, leaving only calm. Fireflies dance along the shore, their tiny lights mirroring the love within you. Steady and warm, this scene holds the teachings of tonight. Mindfulness as the lake's stillness, compassion as the breeze, gratitude as the firefly's glow. Each breath you take aligns with this moment, grounding you in the present, where healing blooms. The air feels soft against your skin, a reminder of the safety that surrounds you, the warmth of your own heart. As you imagine this lake, let it cradle your thoughts, your doubts, your dreams, holding them gently as you drift toward rest. The stars above whisper that you are part of this vast, beautiful world, connected to its quiet rhythm. This imagery is not just a vision, but a reflection of your inner peace, a place where self-love grows like lotus flowers rising from the water. Rest here, in this tranquil scene, letting its calm wash over you, soothing your mind, inviting you to release all tension and simply be. Let this peace guide us. How soft can this moment become? The teachings of self-love and healing are seeds planted in your heart tonight. Small but powerful, ready to grow with time. There is no rush, No need for immediate change. Just trust that these seeds will unfold gently. As flowers open to the sun, practice small acts. A kind thought for yourself each day. A moment to breathe and feel your worth. These actions nurture the wisdom of Zen, letting compassion and gratitude take root in your life. Like a gardener tending to young sprouts, be patient, knowing that each step, however small, strengthens your heart's light. The teachings remind us that healing is a journey, not a destination. A slow blossoming that reveals your inherent goodness. Doubt may arise, a whisper that change is too slow. But trust that these seeds are alive, growing quietly within you. Zen's wisdom is patient, guiding you with gentle hope, showing that every moment of kindness to yourself is a step toward peace. As you rest tonight, let these seeds settle, knowing they will bloom in their own time, carrying you toward a life of love and healing. Let this patience guide us. What might these seeds become? As you lie here, let your body soften, your breath slow and easy, like waves lapping gently on a shore. Release any lingering thoughts, letting them drift like clouds across a quiet sky. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be. Just this moment, this breath. Picture your worries as leaves floating down a stream, carried away, leaving only stillness. The teachings of love and healing wrap around you. A warm embrace, safe and comforting. Breathe in, feeling your heart's gentle rhythm. Breathe out, letting go of all tension. Your body is at rest, your mind at ease, held by the wisdom of Zen, by the truth that you are enough. If thoughts arise, notice them. Let them pass, returning to the soft rise and fall of your breath. This moment is your sanctuary, a place where healing lives, where self-love grows. Drift now, carried by the gentle current of peace, knowing you are safe, whole, loved. As sleep draws near, let the teachings cradle you, guiding you into rest, into the quiet beauty of this moment. Let this stillness guide us. How peaceful can this sleep be? May you rest tonight in the warmth of self-love, your heart glowing with the light of healing. These teachings are yours to carry, small seeds of peace to share with the world. Join our Zen Buddhism community. Subscribe today. Let us grow this sanctuary together. Try one kind thought tomorrow, a gentle step toward love. Your presence makes this journey brighter, a shared path to calm. Let your heart shine. Rest now and wake renewed. Let us rest here. In this love, we are home.